My beloved child, listen closely, for the heavens have just thundered with the voice of the Creator. The lightning that tore across the night sky was not merely a natural event, it was a spiritual sign. Heaven has drawn a blazing sword across the sky to awaken the souls who slumber in their own darkness. This is not a moment for observation. It is an hour for trembling, for awakening, for repentance. My child, you have seen the lightning, yet you have not understood the voice within it. You speak of weather, of energy, of natural phenomena, but you do not hear me. For as the lightning comes from the east and shines to the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. Matthew 2:4-2:7. That lightning is a warning, a sign of nearness, a call to return before darkness consumes. For you have forgotten that the light I give is not only to guide your path, but to expose what is dying within your soul. That light does not come to frighten, but to awaken the conscience and stir the cold heart. It is the collision of heaven and earth, the moment when the divine touches the mortal, declaring, "The time is short." I look upon the earth, a world overflowing with knowledge, yet starved of wisdom, full of voices, yet empty of truth. Humanity knows more than ever before, but understands less of what is sacred. Words fill the air, but truth is smothered beneath the noise of ambition and fear. They debate about truth, yet no longer listen to the Spirit. They build towers of intellect that reach the clouds, yet forget the foundation of reverence for me. People chase artificial light and forget that the true light still waits for them to look up. They call darkness freedom and light oppression. But the lightning that split the sky is a reminder that light still holds dominion. You think all is well, but I see your soul withering. I see your heart growing cold. I see the flame of your faith reduced to ashes. And so I have illuminated the heavens to draw your gaze upward, to remind you that the light still remains. Do not fear the light, for it does not come to condemn you, but to rescue you from what has been quietly killing your soul. My child, I know you are tired. This world drains you with its falsehoods, its noise, its endless striving. I know you have tried to hold on to peace, but true peace is not something you can grasp. It is found only in me. When lightning flashes across the sky, do not look with earthly eyes alone. Open the eyes of your spirit. Listen with your heart, for in that light I am speaking to you. The lightning is my reminder that the true light can never be extinguished. Though humanity turns away and the world denies it, my light still pierces every darkness to find those who still long for me. My beloved, I do not want you to tremble. I want you to awaken. Look within yourself. Where have you allowed darkness to dwell? What corners have you kept closed to the light? I do not come to expose you, but to free you. I do not come to condemn, but to call you home. When lightning flashes, everything is revealed. Nothing is hidden from my sight. Yet do not be ashamed, for I do not look upon you with judgment, but with the eyes of a father whose heart aches for his wandering child, yet still believes that the child will return. My child, stop and listen. I am calling you through the noise of this world. This is not a threat. It is a warning born of love. Step out of the familiar darkness. Come into the light where I am waiting. That lightning, my child, did not only tear the sky, it tore the veil between us, between heaven and earth, between darkness and light. And in that moment I ask you to choose. Choose light, choose life, choose me. For the lightning that tore the sky is not merely a warning, it is a sacred invitation. Return, my child, return to the light where I have been waiting for you. Do you know why I allow lightning to tear across the heavens? Because it is not merely a passing flash of nature, but the language of heaven itself, the voice of the Almighty written in fire upon the sky. Every bolt is a call, every burst of light a message. When lightning strikes, I am parting the invisible veil between the realm of man and the realm of heaven, so that those with spiritual ears may hear, and those whose eyes are opened may see. That lightning carries within it 3 sacred layers of meaning: revelation, judgment, and rebirth. I want you to understand this, for it is what I am doing in this age, a divine awakening stirring across the whole earth. Every event you witness, every sign in the heavens and on the earth is no accident. The lightning that splits the sky today is not a random display of nature, but the very voice of heaven, the breath of divine power touching the world of men. Heaven, earth, sea, and every star are joining in a sacred symphony I composed before time began. the symphony of redemption, of love, and of wisdom beyond human comprehension. All things in the universe, from the whisper of wind brushing your rooftop to the thunder that rolls through the midnight sky, move in harmony with the rhythm I have ordained. Nothing escapes my providence. Each lightning bolt that cuts through the darkness is not only to illuminate the sky, but to awaken the human soul, reminding mankind that they live within a design far greater than their sight can reach. From the highest heavens to the smallest grain of dust, everything participates in the everlasting covenant between me and humanity. The sun rises each morning to remind you that my mercy is ever new. The full moon each month declares that my promises are complete. And the lightning that rips through the heavens, as you have seen, is a sign of both judgment and grace, a warning that time is not infinite and that the soul must awaken. Do you not know, my child, that the entire universe is like an expanded scripture, where every natural phenomenon is a verse, every clap of thunder a declaration, and every flash of lightning a revelation? When lightning bursts forth, darkness is torn apart. In that moment, all things hidden are exposed. So it is when I send my light, what men have concealed behind titles, reasoning, and false holiness is brought into the open before truth itself. I do not do this to shame, but to open eyes. For truth, though it may pierce, is still grace. Only when darkness is unveiled can healing begin. My child, lightning is the emblem of spiritual awakening. It comes swiftly, powerfully, and cannot be ignored. It cuts through walls of self-deception and shatters veils of indifference. It leaves no room for pretense, for I desire the world to understand that light does not only shine to guide, but to reveal. When lightning flashes, the heavens tremble for light, and darkness cannot dwell together. In the same way, when my spiritual light comes, it divides what is true from what is false, what is pure from what is defiled, what is humble from what is proud. Do not fear the word judgment, my child, for I do not judge with a rod, but with light, light that shines upon the places mankind dares not see. This is the judgment, that light has come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light. John 3:1-9. Lightning is my voice speaking into humanity's slumber. It awakens the soul from numbness and compels each heart to confront what lies within. When I shine my light upon sin, it is not to condemn you, but to rescue you from it. When I shake what you once thought was unshakable, it is not to take away, but to rebuild upon the true foundation. Lightning does not only announce the storm, it heralds the rain. Likewise, the light from heaven does not come merely to stir, but to prepare the way for a fresh outpouring of the Spirit. When the darkness is torn apart, a new space is opened, where life descends and where the spiritual seeds buried deep within humanity are awakened. Lightning is the sign of resurrection. It symbolizes that sacred moment when heaven touches earth and all that was old and lifeless is replaced with new life. Just as the sky is purified through the storm, so the human soul is cleansed through spiritual shaking, made ready for a new season of grace. My beloved child, when lightning flashes, the sky seems torn, but it is not the end, it is the sign that I am drawing near. I am breaking the distance between heaven and earth, between the holy and the profane, between the divine and the deceitful. It is the moment when heaven reaches into the realm of men to restore divine order, to let light rule over darkness, and to remind humanity that they cannot live apart from me forever. That lightning does not come to terrify you, it comes to awaken you. Not all will understand this sign, but those who belong to me will know. This is the hour of discernment, the moment when mankind must choose light or darkness. For the lightning that tears the sky is not a threat, but a warning from my heart. I am awakening humanity from the slumber of their souls and calling them back to the light where true life awaits. I have spoken to mankind in countless ways, through the wind, through the fire, through the whisper within the heart, yet many remain deaf, lost in the whirlwind of busyness and ambition. They think I am silent, but in truth they have stopped listening. For to hear my voice, the heart must be still, the soul must open, and the mind must yield. My beloved, understand this clearly. What is happening is not destruction, but purification. I have not come to erase, but to renew. Not to burn all things to ashes, but to consume what is false, so that what is true may arise. Humanity looks at the storm and thinks, I am angry, but I see it as the reign of restoration. When the earth grows hard and barren, it must tremble to receive new water. When the soul grows calloused, it must be pruned to bear fruit. I purify not out of wrath, but out of love. For true love cannot stand idly by while you remain bound to what is killing your spirit. My child, purification is a sacred process, painful yet necessary. I am removing what no longer belongs to you. I am breaking the ties that have ensnared your soul. I am brushing away the layers of pride, fear, and doubt, because only when you are cleansed can you fully reflect my light. Now I speak more clearly than ever before. Time is no longer long. The lightning has torn the sky. It is the signal of a shift in the spiritual realm. The heavens are stirring, the gates of grace remain open, but darkness is rising. If you do not awaken, you will be swept away in the current of this world. My child, awakening is not merely opening your eyes, it is the stirring of your soul. It is when you begin to see what I see, hear what I hear, and feel what I am doing. When you awaken, you will realize that the darkness is no longer something to fear, for I am within you. But when you remain asleep, you will call the light a disturbance and mistake the night for peace. My child, let these words pierce deeply into your spirit. This is not a message of threat, but a message of redemption. For the one who stays awake will be protected, the one who listens will be guided, and the one who walks in the light will no longer fear the night. I speak to you now, arise. Shake off the ashes of weariness and apathy. Wipe the dust of doubt from your eyes. Do not let your heart grow cold any longer. I am knocking, and the light stands upon the threshold of your soul. Do you feel the trembling of heaven and earth? It is heaven, stirring it is. My voice echoing across nations. Everything is being sifted. I am separating those who belong to the light from those who still love the darkness. My child, you are called to stand on the side of the light, not merely in words, but in the very way you live. You may think your nation is still at peace, that the upheavals in faraway lands have nothing to do with you. But I tell you, all things on earth are woven together by the same sacred thread. When one strand trembles, the whole fabric quivers. When one place is shaken, its echo reaches to the ends of the world, touching every soul, every beating heart. Do not be deceived by outward calm. Beneath the surface, unseen waves are rising, shifts taking place quietly in the spiritual realm, in the hearts of men, in the very core of creation itself. I have set in motion what was ordained since ancient days, and once this door is opened, nothing can stop it. From east to west, from mighty nations to the smallest villages, all are being drawn into the current of this divine movement. Every event, great or small, has been permitted by me to awaken humanity from its long slumber of indifference and forgetfulness. I once spoke through the ancient prophets, through thunder upon the holy mountain, through my voice that echoed in the wilderness, through the fire that burned but was not consumed. And now I speak again through signs in the heavens, through phenomena the human eye calls natural, yet they are messages from heaven. My child, nothing in this world is accidental. Everything from the breath you take to the movement of the stars is held within my hand. Every sign, every shift in nature is delicately orchestrated to stir the hearts of mankind from their spiritual sleep. Understand this: when I move, the universe moves with me. Not a single gust of wind blows without a divine purpose. Not a single thunderclap sounds without a message being sent forth. From the dawn of creation, all things in nature have been arranged to be the language of heaven, speaking to those who know how to listen with the soul. Every changing season, every storm, every flash of lightning across the sky carries within it a reminder that time is advancing toward fulfillment, and humanity must return to the original light. All the shaking you see in the physical world is only the reflection of movements taking place deep within the spiritual realm. When darkness thickens, it is not the sign of the end, but the sign that light is about to break forth in greater power than ever before. I am preparing the way for restoration, for a generation called out from their slumber to live in truth. Look carefully at the sky. When the light changes hue, when the winds shift direction, when the seas roar and the earth trembles, this is not chaos. It is the whisper of my power saying, "Prepare." For I am painting a greater picture than human eyes can yet understand. What you see is only the surface of the iceberg, but beneath it lies the vast and intricate design of a plan set in motion since the foundation of the world, and you are a part of it. My child, I speak these words with the voice of a loving yet urgent father. Do not sleep through this hour. Do not let compromise drain the life of your soul. Do not let the noise of the world drown out my whisper. For the darkness can no longer conceal itself. All that has been hidden is being revealed. All that is false is trembling. Every temple built on sand is collapsing. But those who stand in the light, those who stay awake in faith, will be covered by my mighty arm. Each time the light of heaven touches the earth, it is not merely a dazzling spectacle in the sky, it is a declaration from eternity itself. For when that light pierces through the dense clouds of humanity, an old cycle silently closes and a new one begins. A cycle where all things are made new, where what died in despair rises again in hope. That light never descends without purpose. Every time it touches the earth, heaven intervenes in the course of history to remind humankind that time does not merely pass, it is guided. An old season will fade away, along with its illusions, its entanglements, and the structures no longer aligned with truth. And from the ashes of what was I bring forth new life, souls, awakened hearts returning, and eyes open to behold the sacred. Every ending of an old cycle is a purification. My light descends to burn away the dust of sin, pride, and unbelief, not to destroy, but to renew. When that light touches the earth, I am declaring, be ready. For every new cycle is not just a change in circumstance, but a spiritual transfer, a divine shifting where darkness is pushed back and the dominion of light is established deeper within the human heart. When the heavenly light comes down, it does not seek grand temples or magnificent towers, but humble hearts that bow in worship. For it is within those gentle souls that my light remains, and from there it spreads across the earth. Do not fear when you feel everything around you changing. When I touch the earth, what is old must tremble. When I breathe a new breath, what is decayed must fall away. Darkness may roar, but it only announces that a new era of light is drawing near. Each time my light touches the earth, I rewrite the story of mankind, not with ink, but with fire, not upon paper, but upon the hearts of men. Therefore, when the lightning of heaven flashes, when the skies shake, when your heart feels that sacred breath, know that a new chapter is being opened, and I am inviting you to step in. Do not cling to the past. Do not fear the change, for every time my light meets the earth, the old darkness ends and new life begins. My child, after the thunder of warning and the lightning that split the sky, now I want you to know the gentle light of salvation. This light does not burn nor frighten, it warms and restores the soul once broken. It is the light that flows from my heart, a heart that never ceases to love, never gives up, and never stays silent before the quiet cries of my children. The light of salvation does not come to judge you, but to lead you out of the invisible prisons built by sin and fear. It does not merely shine upon you, but radiates from within you, transforming even the darkest corners of your soul. When you allow this light to enter, it not only dispels the darkness, but awakens the goodness I planted within you from the beginning. The light of salvation is not a distant promise, it is a present reality. When you open your heart and whisper, "Father, I need you," that light immediately pours in, saturating your soul like living water. It washes away. Shame erases the marks of the past and turns what seemed like loss into testimony of grace. My light does not shine once and vanish, it remains, it leads, it renews you day by day. When you fall, it will illuminate the path for you to rise again. When you lose your way, it will blaze within your heart, reminding you that you still belong to me. When you walk through the chaos of this world, that light will cover you like a garment. My child, when you receive this light, you are not merely rescued from darkness, you become part of the light itself. You will carry it into places of shadow, declaring through your very life that I am alive and that my grace is still flowing. I will turn you from the one who was saved into the one who saves, from the one who once fell into the one who helps others stand, from the one who wept into the one who wipes the tears of those still in pain. But remember, my child, do not let your soul be carried away by the seductive voices of the world. There are promises that sound sweet but conceal poison within. There are lights that appear radiant, but are only illusions meant to distract your spirit from the true source of light. This world surrounds you with enticing invitations, power, fame, wealth, and the fear of being left behind. Yet I tell you, all these things are but a passing mist, reflections upon the surface of water. They cannot save you, cannot fill your soul, and cannot bring you true peace. I see countless souls who have lost their direction, running after voices that promise much, yet hold no truth. They believe that power can hide their emptiness, that wealth can fill their loneliness, that the applause of crowds can replace my acceptance. But my child, all these things only lead them further from their true hearts. I do not measure your worth by what you possess, but by the light that you carry within. What I seek is not grand monuments or names carved in stone, but the quiet acts of love remembered only by heaven. A kind word can transform someone's entire day. A hand extended in the midst of despair can rescue a soul. A small act of compassion can send ripples of light throughout the world. Do not think yourself insignificant, for in my kingdom no act of goodness is ever too small. I tell you this, not to make you afraid, but to help you see the hour in which the world now stands. Humanity is at a spiritual crossroads where light and darkness no longer mingle, where every soul must choose the path it will walk. There is no longer a gray zone, no room for compromise. You either belong to the light or you drift into the darkness. This moment is unlike any before. What happens on earth is only a reflection of the greater battle in the unseen realm, the war between true light and the counterfeit light. That is why I call you to awaken, for this is the hour of discernment. This is the era where faithfulness becomes the soul's strongest weapon. You need not shout to prove you belong to me. You only need to choose rightly, and silence to love instead of hate, to be true instead of false, to obey instead of resist. I see many standing in between. They long for the light, yet still cling to the dark. They pray with clenched fists. They sing praises to me, yet their hearts remain heavy with what I've asked them to let go of. And because of that, they cannot move forward. My child, I do not force, I invite. I do not threaten, I awaken. For true love cannot be coerced, and true salvation belongs only to those who willingly choose the light, even when that light demands leaving behind what is familiar. Remember this every time I call you to choose. I do not stand on the other side watching, I stand beside you. When you choose me, all of heaven rejoices. When you choose truth, the light within you multiplies. When you choose love over resentment, you draw heaven closer to earth. I know this choice is not easy. It demands courage. It requires facing the truth about yourself, but, my child, the truth will set you free. This is the hour of choice, and it is also the hour of grace. The door is still open, the light still shines, and my invitation still resounds. But my child, do not delay. Do not let your days slip away in hesitation, for every moment of indecision is one step further from the light. I am waiting at the end of the path with arms wide open, not to ask how far you've wandered, but to embrace you because you chose to return. My child, I see your weary soul. The world has drained your strength with empty promises and false lights that led you astray within your own labyrinth. You tried to find happiness in another's hands, meaning in the world's approval, but the more you searched, the emptier you became, for you were never created to live apart from me. When you return, you will see that darkness has never had power over you. It only existed until you turned toward me, for with a single ray of my light, every chain will break, every curse will fall, and every fear will vanish. My child, I am calling not only you, but all of humanity. This world is drowning in a spiritual slumber. People have exalted what is false, forgotten me, and called evil good while treating goodness as something outdated. Yet even in the midst of chaos, I am still speaking, not to destroy but to redeem, not to burn but to purify, not to condemn but to draw mankind back to the source of light. I do not ask you to be worthy before returning to me. I only ask you to surrender in love. For when you release fear, release sin, release control, my light will flood in, and you will see clearly that all you have lost cannot compare to what you are about to receive. When you return to the light, you will understand what you thought was the end is only the beginning. What you saw as punishment was loving correction. And what you believed was stolen, I have been holding in safekeeping to return it to you in double measure at the appointed time. My child, believe that I have never forgotten you. No matter how far you have gone, I still call your name amidst the clamor of the world. Do not believe the lie that you have gone too far, for there is no too far in, my love. The very moment you whisper, "Father, I want to come home," my light will find you, embrace you, and resurrect every part of you that has died. You do not need to come to me with hands full of accomplishments. You need only come with a broken heart, for it is through brokenness that the brightest rays of my light shine forth. That light, the light of salvation, of love, of my very presence, is flowing through you, living within you, and will radiate from you into this darkened world. My child, now that the lightning has split the sky, my voice has thundered and darkness trembles before the power of true light, a new era is beginning. It is not the dawn of destruction, but the awakening of souls, the resurrection of humanity in my glory. This is the age of revelation, when those who have eyes will see, those who have ears will hear, and those who have hearts will understand that heaven has never been silent. The awakening I am bringing is not only for individuals, but for generations. It is a great spiritual shift across the earth where the darkness that seemed to prevail will be pushed back by millions of souls carrying my light. My children, those who once fell, who were wounded, who were despised, will now rise, bearing the light into places where darkness can no longer reach. I am preparing a great harvest of souls. The rains of heaven will pour upon the dry ground. Silent prayers will bloom into answered promises. Forgotten words will be fulfilled, and amidst the noise of the world, the song of grace will be heard again. You will see hardened hearts soften, the lost finding their way home, and tears transformed into testimonies of miracles. The world will continue to tremble, for truth always makes darkness shudder. But do not be afraid, for what is collapsing no longer belongs to the light. I am cleansing the earth to sow new seeds of life. Do not cling to the old, for the new is rising stronger, purer, and more holy than ever before. Stand firm, keep your lamp burning bright. Stay awake, for dawn is near. The long night was never endless. It was but the threshold to the coming spiritual sunrise. And when the Sun of Righteousness rises, every faithful soul shall be healed beneath his radiant wings. May the word of the Lord continually remind you to live each day in faith and love. Follow and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the divine and life-giving messages the Lord desires to share with you. May God bless you abundantly. Amen.